My 4-year-old nephew looked at his cousin during Thanksgiving dinner and asked, "Who hits you?" The entire table went silent. Fork stopped moving. My sister stopped pouring gravy. Uncle Dave's hand froze halfway to his mouth with a piece of turkey. My nephew Tyler was staring at his cousin Emma. She was 12 years old and hadn't said much all dinner, just pushed her mashed potatoes around her plate, making little designs with her fork. "What did you say, buddy?" my brother asked, trying to laugh it off. "Who hits Emma?" Tyler repeated, louder this time. His little voice cut through the awkward silence. "She has the same marks as my friend at daycare. Teacher said those are from hitting." Emma's face turned bright red. Her mom, my cousin Beth, jumped up so fast her chair fell over backwards and crashed against the wall. "Tyler, that's not appropriate dinner conversation," Beth said. Her voice was shaking. Her hands were trembling as she picked up her napkin. "Emma fell off her bike last week. Tell them, Emma. Tell them about the bike accident." Emma just stared at her plate. She was wearing a long-sleeve shirt even though it was at least 75 degrees inside. I'd noticed that earlier when everyone else was in short sleeves but didn't think much about it. Tyler wouldn't let it go. He climbed down from his booster seat and walked over to Emma with his little dinosaur cup still in his hand. He gently touched her arm. "My friend has these too, on her arms and her back. The purple and yellow ones. Teacher says those hurt a lot." That's when Emma started crying. Not loud crying, just silent tears running down her face, dripping onto her untouched plate of food. Beth grabbed Tyler's hand a little too roughly. "That's enough. Kids say the strangest things. Emma, go wash up for dessert right now." But my mom, Tyler's grandma, stood up slowly. She'd been a school nurse for 30 years before retiring. She knew exactly what Tyler was describing. She'd seen it too many times. "Emma, honey, can you show me your arms?" my mom asked quietly. "No," Beth said immediately. "She doesn't need to show anyone anything. This is ridiculous. We're leaving." My dad put his hand on Beth's shoulder. His voice was firm. "Let her talk. Let Emma talk." Emma looked at her mom, then at my mom, then slowly with shaking hands she rolled up her sleeve. The whole table gasped. Her arm was covered in bruises, different colors, different ages. Some were fresh and purple, some were fading to that sick yellow-green color. "Emma, sweetheart, who did this?" my mom asked, kneeling down next to her chair. Emma's lip was trembling. "Mom's boyfriend, but only when I'm bad. Mom says I need to be better. She says if I was a good kid, he wouldn't get mad." Beth's face went completely white. "You're making it sound worse than it is. He just disciplines her when she's disrespectful. I was going to handle it. I had a plan." "Handle it?" My sister stood up, her voice rising. "Beth, look at her arms. That's not discipline. That's abuse. That's assault." Beth started crying, mascara running down her face. "You don't understand. You don't know what it's like. He's not always like this, and I can't afford to be alone again. The rent is due. Emma just needs to listen better. She pushes his buttons." My dad was already on the phone with the police. Beth tried to grab Emma and leave, but my Uncle Dave blocked the front door with his whole body. "You're not taking her anywhere," he said quietly. "Not until the police get here." The cops showed up 20 minutes later. They took photos of Emma's arms, her back, her legs, each bruise documented, each one measured and photographed as evidence. They found more when they did a full examination. Cigarette burns on her shoulders that Beth had claimed were from a cooking accident. A fractured rib that had healed wrong because they never took her to the hospital. Marks on her wrists from being grabbed too hard, too many times. The boyfriend was arrested that night at their apartment. Beth lost custody temporarily while she went to mandatory therapy and parenting classes. Emma stayed with my parents in their guest room. Tyler didn't understand why everyone was crying. He just climbed into Emma's lap and hugged her tight, his little arms barely reaching around her. "It's okay," he said, patting her head. "Teacher says when you tell the truth about the hitting, then the hitting stops." That's what happened to my friend. 6 months later, Emma was still living with my parents. She'd gained 15 pounds of healthy weight, started smiling again, joined the school choir, and made the honor roll for the first time ever. Beth completed her program and got supervised visitation every other weekend. She left the boyfriend for good, started going to support groups for mothers, got her own apartment without him. At Christmas dinner, Emma sat next to Tyler. She was wearing a short-sleeve red sweater. Her arms were clear except for a few fading scars that would probably never completely disappear. Tyler looked at her arms carefully and said, "No more purple and yellow." Emma kissed the top of his head. "No more purple and yellow." Later that night, my mom pulled me aside in the kitchen while we were doing dishes. That 4-year-old saved her life. If he hadn't said something at that dinner table, we might have lost her. Kids see what adults are too afraid to acknowledge. Tyler was playing with his trucks on the living room floor. He had no idea he was a hero. He just knew what his daycare teacher taught him about bruises and telling the truth.